Hello again. We are here with Michelle Hodkin, author of the Mara Dyer trilogy, and I'm Natasha. So we got a last-minute interview chance with Michelle here. It is Comic-Con. It's the last day, and we're excited to end on a high note. So Michelle, you finished the Mara Dyer trilogy, and then you come up with this thing where you're going to continue on with the series or something like that.
It is hard to describe. It is a spin-off.
Okay.
From Noah Shaw's point of view, who is the male main character, love interest in Mara Dyer. He is a 17-year-old English boy, so the voice of his trilogy is completely different from the first trilogy. Yeah, it's very different, but it is going to continue the stories of those characters.
Okay.
And then there are new characters, and there are new plot problems that arise, and situations that they get themselves into, they have to get themselves out of, and it's great. I think I would the first book in that one. So.
Is this going to be a trilogy?
It is.
Trilogy.
It is a new trilogy. A new Noah Shaw trilogy. It's called The Shaw Confession, actually.
And when did you decide that you wanted to do this new one?
That is an excellent question. I decided when I was writing Retribution, actually, Retribution of Mara Dyer, which was the third book in the Mara Dyer trilogy. And the reason that I decided to do this was because I was writing Noah into the story and realized that his role in it was so much larger that the book would have ended up being, basically Mortal Instruments size.
Wow.
Like it would have been, a big heavy tome, and it would have sort of taken over, and it wasn't, he had his own narrative, basically, which diverged from Mara's narrative, and so I wanted to give him a chance to tell his story.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of what happened.
Well, everybody's a fan of Noah Shaw. I don't know who isn't a fan of Noah Shaw. I mean, British dude who's like hot and sexy and stuff like that. So yeah, I was gonna say, can you tease us about what to expect in this one?
Well, I did a signing earlier, and I've been writing teasers in here at the back of the book, so I'm just signing. So I will say, like, one little quote from the beginning of the book. You may think you've heard this story before, you haven't.
Oh.
So, different side of things, different perspectives, different attitudes, different everything.
Okay.
Because the whole series for me, the spin-off, the first trilogy, is really about perspective. You know, like one of my favorite quotes is the villain is the hero of her own story. And so the first three books are from her point of view. Yes. And how she views herself sort of determines her character arc. What you think about yourself becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Can direct your actions for the rest of your life, whether or not your beliefs about yourself are true. Like you may think you're this kind of person, but and then that'll determine the kinds of things you do. I think I'm an introvert or something, and then so I won't go out and whatever, something like that. So since this is a completely different point of view, we've only seen Noah through Mara's eyes, not through, we haven't been in his head yet. So clearly he has a very different opinion of himself than, and a different view of himself than Mara has.
So does this take place during the same time then?
It takes place where basically around the time where the first trilogy.
Okay. Because we know, I'm like, are we gonna see like Noah like before he meets Dara? Mara. Dara. I'm getting these things mixed up.
I understand. It's the last day of Comic-Con. I'm completely with you. I'm surprised I can remember. You're gonna see there are flashbacks.
Okay.
There are flashbacks that are sort of woven into his narrative.
Okay.
The style is completely different from anything I thought I would write. If I told you the books that I was reading, you know, I mean, one of them is Dracula, actually. I mean, and this is not a vampire. There are no vampires in this series, but you know, like the style and his way of interacting with people and with the readers. You know, it's also a little Deadpool-esque.
Ooh.
In a way, yeah.
I hope you like Deadpool. I like Deadpool. So
I know. Well, you know, in terms of that, you know, sort of fourth wall breaking.
Okay.
In the first trilogy, there's a lot of genre. All my characters are genre savvy and self-aware.
Okay.
So you know, Jamie will call himself out. You know, as whatever, like oh, I'm the token white Jewish black friend. You know, like I'm that guy. Because, you know, he's aware of that trope, you know, it's subverting that trope of the minority character who's the best friend. You know, so it's just going all the way, and he's just going to be like, yeah, that's...
So we're going to see more of those characters like Jamie. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Well, you know, since we're here at Comic-Con and you mentioned Deadpool, are there any other characters that you know, like superhero or anti-superhero, if you will, that you like?
I do. I mean, I wasn't really, when I was younger, I was sort of handed, you know, Jane Austen and stuff like that. And I love Jane Austen. You know, she's wonderful. But, like, I didn't really get into sort of, no one was handing me, like, things like Lord of the Rings or, you know, any fantasy, really, at all. So I'm more of a fantasy person. But now that, you know, Marvel's been coming out with things, I'm getting caught up. I would say, like, Watchmen is probably,
nice.
one of my favorites, or, like, probably my favorite, you know, graphic novel.
They're really excellent.
Yeah, like, you know, I mean, I'm into the anti-heroes. What can I say? Like, I'm like, superheroes? No, but anti-heroes.
You know, anti-heroes are definitely more, you know, like, they're, you know, more deep, and they have, like, you know, there's always those warring factions in their head and whatnot. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
You know, there's, like, something that I like to think about is, you know, you have to put your heroes in the darkness and you have to bring your villains out into the light every now and then. So every character should have, you know, in order to feel real, I think, bits of everything, humanity, so that they can, you know, so that readers can relate to them. Otherwise, you know, it's a mustache twirling, you know, Disney villain, which is not, you know, you kind of don't really want. So yeah, I would say my heart-to-heart fandom is Lord of the Rings still.
That's a very excellent one. I have no arguments with that.
Yeah. So and I guess they're all really heroes. No, actually, I'm like, they're of course anti-heroes. I wrote my senior thesis on theories of evil in Lord of the Rings. Of course there are. I mean, Boromir is one.
Yes.
So, you know, and I was wearing a shirt the other day that said #Don't Kill Sean Bean. So
yeah, that's a very popular hashtag in the Comic-Con world too.
Yeah.
They actually have that on the sign on our hotel sign.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
And basically, so with, you know, Noah Shaw, do you plan on writing any other books in that world, like from other different perspectives? Or I don't even know if they have to be books or, you know, other formats, media.
We're getting so far into the future that I can't even see it. As far as I know, you know, they plan on a book a year, the first one coming out in 2017.
Yes.
And there's 3. And so, like, beyond 3 years, I don't know. I don't know what day it is today. So, yeah.
Will readers be able to read the Shaw Confessions before they read, like, Mara Dyer?
They can.
You know?
They can. It's recommended by Noah in the beginning. You know, like, if you want to stop with Mara Dyer, that's fine. If you haven't read Mara Dyer, that's fine. You're getting my story, you know, like one way or the other.
Sure.
So, you know, there's a little bit of an introduction to the players,
Okay.
and who they are from Noah's point of view. So,
Okay.
like if you have read the Mara Dyer trilogy, you could be like, what? Like, this is very different from what I thought they were, or from who I thought they were. So yeah, you could come at it as a brand new series, but I think you get more out of it if you read the first trilogy.
Yeah.
Basically, it's what happens after happily ever after.
So you definitely want to kind of go in the order, just to get the
I mean, what really, I started the Mara Dyer trilogy. I didn't plan on being a writer ever. I never wrote anything until I was 27 years old. And the first word.
See, it's never too late.
It's never too late. I was a civil anti-terrorism litigator before.
Okay.
Yeah, before I was a writer. So law to writing totally different. But one of the things that drew me into it was this idea of just this idea of getting to write sort of like a type 4 vicious anti-heroine origin story. If we're getting into really deep analysis of heroes, the whole spectrum of villainy to heroism, since they're all kind of constructs. And so I was really interested because when I was a teenager, there was nothing like that for me. Like I said, I was being handed, the class. I was being handed classics, but just no one assumed that I would also be interested in Stephen King. That I would also be interested in fantasy and science fiction and stuff like that. And I would have loved these books when I was 15. So I really write for 15-year-old women, and that's kind of.
I think we all write for 15-year-old ourselves, because I know I do, and I'm not 15. I know you can't tell, but just kidding. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me in this,
Thank you for
and
having me.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. I've got a panel coming up.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Great. All right.